the Oakland A's. And on the mound will be Bob Welch, 35-year-old right-hander from Detroit, 11-7 on the year. This is Dick Stockton along with Jim Cott. Blue Jays lead the best-of-7 series 2-1. And there's a let-up pitch in there for call, strike 3, and White is out of there. He took something off it, and White doesn't like that call by Durwood Merrill.
All fastballs until this one.
Welch was ahead of White 2 strikes, ran the count full before getting him on a called 3rd strike. And there's a line drive, base hit for Roberto Alomar. His 4th hit of the series and the first Blue Jay to collect that many hits. So with 1 out, the Jays have a man on. Carter has been a finicky guy since he got into the batter's box, wanting Welch to move the rosin bag and then make Welch stop. Nothing wrong with that. And he was leaning the wrong way, and he got him. Welch picks off Roberto Alomar. And Cito Gaston is going to argue with first base umpire Joe Brinkman. And it's pop foul, out of play. Now Lansford has a play over near the dugout, and he's going to make the catch. There's a lot of room here, and that'll retire the side. So the first pickoff at first this season for Bob Welch, and nothing across in the first inning. Jack Morris gave up 4 runs on 6 hits in going the distance in game number 1.
When you come back a day early than usual, you will have less power, but you hope to have better control.
Ground ball sharply hit the shortstop. Lee anchors the throw to first, and it gets by on a bounce. Olerud bounces away, and Henderson goes into second base, round second, but Borders retrieves the ball. And Ricky Henderson leading off for the A's in the first inning.
Number 2 hitter. If he doesn't get there at this at-bat, then you could look for him to go.
And there's a bunt, and it's a good one. Morris off the mound, the only play to first base to Alomar covering. And on the sacrifice, Ricky Henderson moves to third base, and there's 1 out. Is not pitching around Sierra. Ball 4, and Ruben is on, and runners at first and third. It does present a double play situation for the Blue Jays with a runner at first base, but Baines 3 for 4 here in the LCS. Trying to put the A's in front. And he slaps it to the left side. Over to second for 1. The throw to first. And it is in time for the double play. Baines not being able to run down the line as the A's waste a rally opportunity. And Jack Morris pitches out of it. But against Welch, Winfield is hitless in his last 15 at-bats. Has a fastball to hit, and he pops it up to the center of the diamond. Mike Bordick calls for it and makes the play, 1 out.
You mentioned that double play in Toronto's record. That again is a characteristic of
5-1. Worked 7 1/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 run. Lifetime is 3-2 against the Jays. Fly ball hit deep to left field. Henderson looking up, and this is out of here. John Olerud has an opposite field home run, and Toronto has taken a 1-0 lead. Just like Roberto Alomar yesterday, Olerud went the other way, and his first playoff home run and his second RBI of the series. We have a lot of home runs, so it's 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jays, and Candy Maldonado the batter. The count 0-1 to him. Breaking ball is hit in the air to center field. Brown is moving back, and you can see even on that fly ball it carried to the warning track, and that's the second out.
No routine fly balls. Remember Jose Canseco's today.
Gruber's defensive play is sparkling. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fly ball hit deep to center field. Brown, though, has room, and he makes the catch. 3 fly balls, a home run by Olerud, and it's 1-0 Toronto in the middle of the second. McGuire, Steinbach, and Lansford here against Jack Morris, and a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and there's 1 down. That's the first strikeout for Jack Morris. So the big question was his health coming in, and he has been healthy and productive. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and he strikes out on a forkball, and that is the second straight strikeout this inning for Jack Morris. Nobody on, and Carney Lansford slaps it to third base. Big hop for Kelly Gruber. A high throw, but out at first base is Lansford, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Jack Morris. So we've completed 2 in game number 4, and the Blue Jays are in front 1-0. Embarrassing situation yesterday. It's happened a lot where a catcher walks away thinking they're 3 down and they're only 2 down in an inning. And Carney Lansford knocks it down, off balance throw to first base, and McGuire makes the scoop. Backhanded. Fine play on both sides, and really McGuire had to handle a hard shot by Pat Borders, and there's 1 down.
Wow, a rocket
in 31 postseason games at third base. And look at the names behind him. Brooks Robinson, Greg Nettles. There's a line drive, base hit, and Manny Lee gets the single. That is his 3rd hit of the series, and it comes with 1 out here in the 3rd inning. So the Jays have at least a hit in every inning thus far. Totally fallacious.
Well, I don't blame him. I mean, why give the franchise away? He is the Red Sox.
On the outside corner, strike 3, and Devon White looks at a called 3rd strike for the 2nd time. Well, let's hear what Roger Clemens feels about pitching to Roberto Alomar. Manny Lee on at first base. They do not, and the pitch misses outside, ball 4, and Alomar is aboard. That is the first walk given up by Bob Welch. And now the Blue Jays have runners at first and second and 2 down, and the danger is Joe Carter coming to the plate. Whitfield has been hitless in his last 16 times at bat against Welch. But again, here's the 3-2 pitch. The runners go, and a high fly ball. That's playable. Left field, Ricky Henderson looking up in the sun, using his hand, and that was a very tough play for Ricky Henderson, who used first his glove and then his bare hand to shield. Bring you up to date on NFL finals today. Ground ball up the middle and past the diving Manny Lee. And the A's have their first base hit. So for the 2nd time in 3 innings, they have the leadoff man aboard. Trailing 1-0, and Bordick has his first hit of the series. Bordick is the base runner. And there he goes, and the pitch is lined. A base hit to left field. Stopping at second is Bordick as Maldonado retrieves. The ball was hit too hard for Bordick to even consider going to third. But the A's, with back-to-back singles, have runners at first and second and none out.
Drive the ball, the most dangerous leadoff hitter in the game.
He hit the ball sharply to Lee, safe on a 2-base error in the first inning. And there's a looper in the left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Bordick rounds third. They're going to wave him in. Here's the play at the plate. Not in time. And the A's have tied the game 1-1 on Ricky Henderson's RBI single as Blankenship moves to second. Talk about how things can change in this pivotal 4th game. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And now Morris is Roberto Clemente of the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit in the air to right field. That will get in a run. Carter makes the catch. Tagging up is Blankenship. The throw goes to third, but diving in is Henderson, and the A's have taken a 2-1 lead. Blankenship scores. Henderson goes to third. Holding at first was Brown, and it's 2-1 as Sierra on the sacrifice fly gets his 3rd RBI of the series. A's are looking for the ground ball that they can turn into a double play, and a line drive down the left field line. A base hit. Henderson will score. Could be extra bases. Jerry Brown on his way to third will be held there as the ball gets through, and on at second with a double is Harold Baines. It's 3-1 in favor of the A's. And he has hit the ball hard twice today.
Steinbach and Lansford.
Interesting that McGuire has 4 home runs off of Morris, but hitting only .250. Steinbach came into the game hitting .333, so he is going to be no easy mark. Ball 4. Brown will score the 4th run of the inning for the A's, and it's now a 4-1 ball game. The bases remain loaded. Still only 1 out. And the 9th hitter of this 3rd inning coming up, Carney Lansford.
And now it has to come into Cito Gaston's mind like this when you go 30 to 40 pitches.
And it's half swing, bounding ball. That's going to get a run in. Manny Lee's throw, not in time. Everybody is safe. Bain scores. And it is now a 5-1 ball game. It'll be a base hit.
Like Lee could have, if he comes up with it cleanly, could have had Lansford easily.
So here's Mike Forney up for the 2nd time, and it's a ground ball to Lee over to Alomar, and they turn the double play, their 2nd double play of the game, but they bat around to the A's, and they score 5 runs to take a 5-1 lead. And we'll return to Oakland Coliseum after this word from your local station. To 3rd, Lansford backing up, 1 out.
And still have it.
And should have it tomorrow again. Here's John Olerud, and he hits a drive to left center field. Henderson racing over, and it's off the wall. Henderson makes a good play on 1 bounce. The throw to 2nd, and sliding in with a double is Olerud. John Olerud with a home run and a double. 2 for 2 in the game. He indicated it was the biggest moment of his career. And hit sharply right at Blankenship. Make the play at first for the 2nd out as Olerud advances to 3rd.
He was happy to get that ball, Lance Blankenship. Tough day yesterday, as a lot of infielders did.
Been on the uphill climb since their 4-3 victory in the opening contest. 3-2 pitch, and Gruber strikes out. And Olerud is stranded at 3rd in the middle of the 4th inning here at the Coliseum. The A's lead the Jays 5-1.
For those years, Gus, a member of that famous Big Four they had in Cleveland.
All 4, Blankenship's aboard.
Bob Feller, Herb Score, Mike Garcia, and Early Wynn before he got his 300th win coming over to the White Sox.
Last inning against Jack Morris on 5 hits. And there goes Blankenship. The pitch is taken for a strike. The throw to 2nd, not in time. And Lance Blankenship has a stolen base. Throw to Alomar, a bit too high. A's with a runner in scoring position, and the count 2-2 to Henderson. Shot off the glove of Morris. He'll hold Blankenship at 2nd, and the throw to 1st. But even on the outs, Jim, Morris has been hit hard. Even on the double plays, they've been hitting shots off of him. 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. Blankenship the runner at 2nd. And Blankenship takes off the 3rd and a ground ball to Manny Lee, and Blankenship will hold at 3rd base. Lee must have gotten confused as Blankenship took off. The runner was past him when the ball was hit to him, and Cito Gaston's coming out, and that'll be all for Jack Morris. So Todd Stottlemyre is the new pitcher, relieving Jack Morris, who had his shortest outing in 11 postseason starts. Stottlemyre 12-11 on the year, and Sierra hits a bounding ball to Olerud. He'll make the play unassisted. The runners hold at 3rd, and now runners at 2nd and 3rd with...
Oftentimes they'll just play it by feel.
And it must have worked. Pop up. Manny Lee makes the catch. Yesterday the A's committed 3 errors. Today the Blue Jays have had 3. They get out of further damage, and after 4 it's still 5-1 Oakland. Orders with a home run in the 5th inning of game 1. Pops this one up. Steinbach in foul territory. Makes the catch, and there's 1 gone.
You take a lot of care in preserving that. Now you get a new pair every week.
Pops up a fastball. Lansford has a play, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So Devon White, the number 1 hitter in the lineup. How would Roger Clemens handle this switch hitting outfielder? Curveball and grounded to McGuire, covering his Welch, and McGuire threw the ball behind him, and Devon White is on base with 2 away. First thing you'll hear is that they work on that play hundreds of times in spring training, right, Jim? Delivered the long ball yesterday. He can bunt, go to the opposite field, and pull the ball. And there's a ball hit up the middle, a base hit for Alomar. White will stop at second base as Brown quickly gets it back. So Robbie Alomar is aboard for the 3rd time today. 2 hits and a walk. And the Blue Jays, there they go. And the pitch is hit in the air to center field. Jerry Brown will make a play. And that'll do it as Welch has gotten Carter twice with 2 runners on base. In the middle of the 5th inning, it is still 5-1. He was the losing pitcher in the first game of the series and could find himself 0-2 after today. Shot up the middle and playing perfectly in a line drive handled by Alomar. That's where scouts will tell you where to play batters, and Alomar, that was one of the knocks against him, is that his temperament was not consistent. Steinbach pops it up. Kelly Gruber in foul territory. He makes the catch for out number 2. And right now, let's check in with Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Dick, a note on another team.
Well, as anyone, because you've heard it from me enough times, Leslie. That's for sure. Lansford with a base hit up the middle with 2 outs. And bobbling it in center field is Devon White. And moving on to second is Lansford. So a base hit and an error, I'm sure, will be charged against White. You know, their business is a very big part of it, but you don't think about that when you're a youngster. There's a looper into right field. Alomar going back, and he makes the catch. And Carter slid to get away from Alomar. The 2 worked well together. And that'll retire the side with a hit, an error, and 1 left. That Eck slipped and couldn't handle in time, and Winfield got credited for a hit. Broken bat ground ball to third. Carney Lansford makes the play, and there's 1 away in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, if Toronto were to come back and win this game, then Blue Jay fans would say, we know.
And he's out of there with a fastball. So Olerud finally is retired by Bob Welch. And that is strikeout number 4 by the veteran right-hander.
Known as a good outfielder, he went through a period of time where people didn't think he was very good out there, more of a hitter.
And he's out of there. 5 strikeouts, 4 of them called third strikes, and Bob Welch has his first perfect inning today. And Blankenship is called out on strikes. That is the first strikeout for Todd Stottlemyre, and there's 1 away in the 6th inning. Lance doesn't seem very pleased by that call. And a line drive, base hit. Ricky Henderson has his 2nd hit of the ball game. So he is starting to get going, but I'll tell you, he's not running very well, both in the outfield and on the base paths. Jerry Brown, who is 0 for 1. There goes Henderson. The pitch taken for a strike, and the ball knocked away, and Henderson is in at second with a stolen base. Alomar was covering on the play, so Ricky has his 2nd of the series. 5-1 to score. The ground ball hit to Alomar. He looks Henderson and throws to first for the out as Henderson goes to third. Right now, let's check in with Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Dick, we told you in game 1 how Ruben Sierra.
With Welch getting Carter scored 5 times, and that has been the story. There's a line drive to right field, and Carter dives, can't make the play. It's a base hit. Sierra on his way to second, and he slides in safely as Henderson scores the 6th run of the game for Oakland. It is a double, and Ruben Sierra, with his 3rd extra base hit of this series, has knocked in.
Just flying around the bases, going to second base.
Harold Baines hits a sharp grounder, but right at Robbie Alomar to retire the side. But the A's get a run, and here's what you were talking about, the way Sierra running around those bases. He's in for, obviously, for defensive purposes. First pitch, Kelly Gruber lifts high in the air to left center field. Wilson is under it and makes the catch, so he gets a chance on the first batter, and there's one gone in the 7th inning.
Bob Welch says, okay, Willie, they put you in. Let me get you in the ball game.
He seemed fortunate to be hanging in there in the early going and really was on the brink of being knocked out. That's what batting support can do for you. Although Borders lifts one out to center field, that'll drop for a base hit. And the 4th hit of the series for Pat Borders.
All these outs are gravy outs for Bob Welch.
David Cone, who pitched brilliantly for the Blue Jays in Game 2, will be on the mound for Cito Gaston's crew as Lee, overmatched, strikes out for out number 2. That is the 5th strikeout of the game for Bob Welch.
On a good high fastball in Oakland. And
2-2. Strikes out White. Strikeout number 7. 1 hit and 1 left. In the middle of the 7th inning, the A's in front 6-1. And of course, Ward pointed out that you got to get the rust off. It had been almost a week since he had thrown. 1 hopper to Manny Lee, and McGuire is retired. 1 out in the A's 7th inning.
It was far enough away, so Todd Stottlemyre got him out. That's why he handles the pitch down better than others.
Steinbach grounds it to third. Bad hop, but Gruber handles it and makes the play. Kelly Gruber had to make the play with the bad hop, and there were 2 down in the 7th.
You mentioned we've seen some Mark McGuire. When you see him get ready to hit, that bat is straight up and down, and he'll handle that pitch down around the knees.
Breaking ball, and there's Gruber. Makes another good play at third, guns it over, and only for the 2nd time in this game, the A's have gone in order. We go to the 8th here at the Oakland Coliseum. 6-1 the score. And there's a ball hit down the right field area for a base hit. Could be extra bases. Sierra retrieves. Alomar going into second base, dives head first with a double. So that's the 3rd hit of the ball game for Roberto Alomar, leading off the 8th inning. Jeff Parrott, who was a former Atlanta Brave and had a 9-1 record. And the A's have also protected leads extremely well. Here goes the runner. Attempted steal of third by Alomar, and he's successful. So he must have seen something in Parrott's delivery, and Parrott not paying any attention. So he took it. If it would have been close, I'm sure he wouldn't have gone. In fact, he did give up an RBI infield hit, a shot by Winfield yesterday. There's a ball hit into left field. It'll be a base hit by Joe Carter. Alomar will score. And it is now a 6-2 ball game. Now the Athletics have blown a lead of 5 runs or more only once this season. So they have protected those advantages. But it is 6-2, still nobody out. Winfield lines one on a base hit into the corner and really cut off well by Henderson to throw to third base, and safe is Joe Carter, very nearly thrown out at third base, and that would have been a disaster. Now Henderson is flexing that left knee after going over to cut that ball off at the foul line. Nobody out here in the 8th inning, and a ground ball, base hit up the middle. Carter will score, and Winfield will churn around to third base, and it is now 6-3. Runners at the corners, still nobody out. And frankly, Dennis Eckersley has not looked sharp in his last couple of outings in the last weekend of the season. Who hit a big home run yesterday. Hitless today. He's the tying run at the plate, and there's a line drive, base hit to right field, and Winfield will score, and it's now 6-4. And now the tying runs are on base. Olerud and Maldonado have touched Dennis Eckersley for back-to-back singles here in the 8th inning. So the tying run is at first base. Lead run at the plate. And there's a fly ball hit to center field, and Willie Wilson comes in and makes the catch for the first out as the runners go back to their bases. Wilson was playing deep and had a long way to come. Players and pitchers to perform. Eckersley admits fear of failure drives him. And off the middle, Blankenship's throw to first is in time for out number 2, and the runners advance to second and third. Crowd on its feet now, looking for the strikeout by Eckersley. And he got him. But the Blue Jays score 3 runs, and they leave the tying runners aboard, and Eckersley strikes out Sprague. Condition because his elbow may not have been in 100% shape down the stretch of the season. Pounding ball to Griffin. He gets a chance right away and throws out Bordick, 1 out. 4 errors for the Blue Jays. 2-2 to Blankenship with 1 out, nobody on in the 8th inning. And there's a line shot up the middle and a base hit. Second hit for Blankenship today, and the A's, who squandered additional scoring opportunity back in the 3rd inning when Bordick hit into an inning-ending double play with the bases loaded, went into play center field for Jerry Brown. And there goes the runner, and the hit and run, and a line drive, base hit. White retrieves in center field, and Blankenship goes into third base. So they execute the hit and run perfectly on 2-2, and the A's with runners at the corners and 1 out, and Ricky Henderson with his 3rd hit of the game. Here is Wilson, 4 for 12. And he has 6 stolen bases. First pitch and a ground ball hit right at Griffin. He holds the runner. Now he goes home, and they have Blankenship in a rundown. Kelly Gruber tags out Blankenship. Henderson will go to third, and holding at first is Willie Wilson. So that was a fine play by Griffin because Blankenship was going to break. He was about a third of the way down. The pitchers have not held center stage. Fastball, strike 3. So the A's leave runners at first and third, and the Blue Jays coming up for their last turn, trailing 6-4. Unlike their pattern during the regular season, and a line drive to left field, and Ricky Henderson tried to make a shoestring grab. It goes by him. Rounding second is White, and he's going to go to third base as the throw comes in. Devon White is on at third with nobody out. Ricky Henderson,
good hitter. Inside pitches, he doesn't even flinch on, and they're trying to trick him.
And a drive hit to right field. Sierra going back, looking up, and this game is tied. Roberto Alomar, with his 2nd home run in as many days, has tied the game. And the Toronto bench out of the dugout. The score as Alomar has homered with White aboard.
After they'd won the crown, so this is an experience they have not had yet.
High fly ball hit to left center field. Calling for it is Willie Wilson in center field, and he makes the catch for the first out. 1 out in the top of the 9th inning.
They don't look at the stats, those guys in the uniforms. They just play.
3-2 pitch. He reaches out and hits a bounding ball to Blankenship. Winfield's retired, and there are 2 down here in the top of the 9th. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning for the A's, it'll be Baines, McGuire, and Steinbach. The number 4, 5, and hitters. 4, 5, and 6 hitters, and Olerud singles to left field for his 4th hit. So Alomar and Olerud each having a 4-hit game.
Not a real big lead. Doesn't appear that Bell's going to try to steal. Think Gaston like to get a 3-2 count.
Ball 4. Maldonado walks. And the Blue Jays with runners at first and second. Maldonado on first, and now Derek Bell in scoring position. He represents the lead run here in the 9th with the score tied.
Doesn't have to wait for the 3-2 count. Got to walk instead.
And Honeycutt, who was up earlier, throwing now in the bullpen for the A's. Ball 4. And the bases are loaded. So Corsi has walked 2 batters. Score tied 6-6. This tops them all so far. Off the fist and a roller to shortstop. Bordick makes the play in time. The Blue Jays tie it up with Alomar's 2-run homer, but Corsi gets the third out with the bases loaded. And the A's will come up in the bottom of the 9th inning, all tied up because of that man. But he said, I was short-arming it. I didn't really have the full extension and really didn't let it loose. And the ball was going out of the strike zone. Ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Alomar. The throw to first base to Carter, and he can't hold on. Not normally a first baseman. Carter played in 4 games in the regular season. And Baines 0 for 3 with a walk. There goes Fox. The pitch swung on and missed. Borders pumped a couple of times. Couldn't pull the trigger. And in its second with a stolen base is Eric Fox. Line, and he'll be tagged out by Ward, and there is a big slugger giving himself up, sacrificing the winning run to third base.
Boy, and is he going to get a reception?
The infield is in and the outfield is in as well. Ground ball right at Alomar. Here comes the throw to the plate, and the play is in time, and Fox is tagged out. So Fox was running on the pitch. The ball was hit right at Roberto Alomar. So there are 2 down, and here's Lansford. The infield is moved back. And a ground ball to Griffin. He'll go to second for the force, and we're going to go to extra innings as the A's had a runner at third and 1 out and did not score. Outfield is shallow and around to the left on Griffin. There's the bunt, and he pushes it, and Lansford coming in making the play. Griffin wanted to push it past Lansford, in which case he would have been safe on an infield hit, but Carney was alert to that.
Close, exciting games. I mean, can any two teams put on a better show than these 2 teams in the first 4 games?
And a base hit to the opposite field by Devon White. His second hit as many innings. He takes the big turn, and good speed on the base paths now. Reaches out and a line drive. Throw to first base, safe. Bordick made the play, and White got back in time. But there are 2 down here in the 10th inning. One pitch, a broken bat looper into left field. That's going to drop in front of Ricky Henderson. Rounding second, White. Henderson almost daring Devon to go to third base. Gets the ball in. Second hit of the game for Carter, broke his bat, and now the Blue Jays have runners at first and second and 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th and did not score. Winfield with a big cut and a foul pop. Maybe in play, and chasing, making a great catch is Mike Bordick. As he runs up against the barrier, Mike Bordick with a terrific play to end the inning. And was slated to replace Mike Gallego at second. Ended up playing shortstop and second. And swings at the first pitch and lifts a pop fly. Alomar wants it and holds onto it for the first out.
Boy, nothing out that direction is going to be easy. You see Alomar juggle that ball just for a moment.
Ground ball to Gruber at third base. He should make the play. And there are 2 gone in the bottom of the 10th inning.
He said yesterday's game was like the toughest fight you've ever been in. To pitch in the bottom of the 11th.
And a half-swing looper. Roberto Alomar had to battle the sun to make the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning for Dwayne Ward. We now move to the 11th inning, tied 6-6. Pitch in this battle from Kelly Downs. And he loses him. Bell draws a walk to start the 11th inning. He's got good speed. Maldonado hits a drive to right field. Ruben Sierra has the ball dropped in front of him, just fair. Derek Bell will go to third base, and Maldonado is on at first with a single. Sierra, not sure whether the sun affected him. Nobody out. Runners at first and third in a 6-6 game. 1-0 pitch to Gruber, and there's a line drive speared by McGuire for out number 1. Whew. That saved a run. 1 out, 1 strike to Borders. And there's a line drive to left field. Henderson makes the catch. Tagging up is Bell. The throw not cut off, and the run scores. And the Blue Jays have taken a 7-6 lead. What a comeback for Toronto, trailing going into the 8th inning, 6-1. 3 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. 2 out, Maldonado the runner, and a looper into left field. Henderson was playing shallow enough to make the catch to retire the side, but a big run crosses the plate on Borders' sacrifice fly, and it's 7-6, and we'll return to Oakland Coliseum after this message from your local station. Fly ball to left field should be handled by Maldonado. And he makes the catch for out number 1. Now the A's are down to their last 2 outs. They talked about Eckersley as the top reliever, but the Blue Jays with the depth for the closers in Ward and Henke. And we're seeing it here. And there's a line drive, base hit into left center field, and Ruben Sierra takes the big turn. And the A's have the tying run on with 1 out in the bottom of the 11th inning.
Be a little tentative.
And a drive to center field. Devon White is there. He has it for the 2nd out. Eric Fox is retired. 2 down. And now Mark McGuire comes into the batter's box. So he can pick up his 3rd straight save if he can dispose of Mark McGuire. He's ahead on the count, 0-2. And a high fly ball, and that should do it. Calling forward is Devon White, and he makes the catch. And a historic come-from-behind win by the Blue Jays, who are now 1 win away from being the first Canadian team to make it to the World Series. 7-6 the final score.